Today we're going to look at spelling words that use the letters IE and EI. When you put these letters into the words, there are some rules that you need to remember. However, there are also exceptions to the rules. So today I want to look at what our rhyme is that's going to help us remember how to spell these words so you can do well on your spelling test on Thursday. So, to look at these words, you have a bunch of them on this picture right in front of us. We have yield, wield, relieved, grieve, perceive, relieve, deceive, shield, receive, ceiling, vein. As most of these have the E sound, some of them have the A sound as well. You see vein, rain, neighborly. Alright, so we're going to look at what are the rules for these words. First one, I before E, when the sound is long E. Some examples of words you might hear that have the long E sound in them. Belief, like your religious belief, alright? I-E. Chief, like an Indian chief, or your police chief. Chief has the E sound, ch-eve, I-E. Niece, your aunt's sister or brother's daughter is your niece. If you were a girl, you were your aunt's niece, alright? Niece is spelled N-E-S, with the E sound being I-E. And lastly, another example, priest. Alright, if you're in the Catholic Church, your priest is the one who leads your service. Pre-E, spelled I-E. The rule is also I before E, except after C. Alright, so whenever you see the C come before the letter in the word, or the sound, alright, when E comes after the sound, the spelling should be C-E-I. If you look at our cartoon over here, you have the C standing in line, and he is actually coming to the party with E. So E is trying to get right in front of this I. Whenever the C is in the front, the E should come right behind it. Alright, so that's why E is arguing with I, saying, not this time. Alright? Some examples where C comes before EI in the words. You have receipt. Go to the grocery store and come home with your receipt of what you bought. Re-eat. Another word, conceited. When you are full of yourself, when you think you're the best person in the world, you are very conceited. Con-s-e-ted. Right? You have the s sound first. So, after s, you're going to have E-I. The next exception to the rule is I before E, except after C, or when it sounds like A, like in neighbor and way. So that's a little rhyme to remember. I before E, except after C, or when it sounds like A, like in neighbor and way. When the word makes the long A sound, use EI. Some examples we've already talked about in our rhyme. Neighbor, alright, n-a-ber, alright, it says the A sound, so it's EI. Way, W-E-I, way. And last one, vein, like your veins in your arms, V-A-N, vein, vein, uses the E-I sound. Alright, so I before E, except after C, or when it sounds like A, like in neighbor and way. Go ahead and say that to yourself a couple times. The other weird exceptions that you need to keep in mind. These are only a few of them, alright? If you look at our words, you have the word ancient, alright? Now, there is a C, I before E except after C. Here is a C, but it goes I-E. Now, it doesn't quite make the S sound. Ancient makes the sh sound, so that might be something to keep in mind. But ancient, I before E except after C, does not follow the rule. Caffeine, alright, makes the long E sound, but it's E-I. So when you drink your soda and have too much caffeine, remember you're going to go crazy and flip your E and your I. Your friends, alright, F-R-I-E-N-D. Does not follow the rule. Actually, it does follow I before E, so that would work. It just sounds funny because when you say the word friend, it doesn't make the E sound. Alright, it makes the E sound. Friend. And last word, species. Alright, I before E except after C breaks that rule as well. But this one, species, species. Most people say species, species. So that's one where it breaks the rule. If you look at our cartoon over here, I before E except when you reign over the haste of a feisty neighbor's weird, beige, foreign sleigh. Alright, some of them follow the A sound, so you have rain, you have neighbor, you have beige, you have sleigh. However, feisty doesn't quite follow I before E. Heist doesn't follow I before E. Weird. I always remember how to spell weird because it's just like my last name, W-E-I. Alright, so weird works out weirdly. And it's spelled weirdly because it's not I before E. Alright, so think about these weird phrases and sayings as you go to spell your words because you're going to need them for your spelling words this week.